All right, so let's close the loop on what happened Wednesday night with the Thunder and then turn the page because tonight in San Francisco is where the real conversation lives. This is one of those spots where the scoreboard tells part of the story, but the process tells you everything you actually need to know moving forward. So let's look at for just a minute what Wednesday night really taught us and maybe what the lesson we didn't learn. Oklahoma City's 124 to 95 win over Portland was a textbook example of why breaking down games is about structure and not just necessarily how you feel in the moment. We would call this a split decision. And that label, it fits here. What we got right, what we nailed in this game was the script. Oklahoma City didn't just win, they imposed themselves. The idea that this is a Thunder team that is a disciplined blowout team, it showed up possession after possession. They covered the 15.5 point spread with some room to spare that basically doubled it. And they did so without really ever slipping into bad habits. You know, the turnover trap, we talked about that. It was dead on. Portland coughed it up 25 times and Oklahoma City turned that into 28 points. That's not just randomness, that's design. The Thunder hunt live ball turnovers better than anyone in the league right now. And Portland, they never really adjusted to that. We also talked about the 120-point barrier, and once again, it held true. Oklahoma City got to 124, and the game was effectively over before the fourth quarter ever mattered. Chet Holmgren's impact was there, even stronger than what we anticipated. 6 blocks. Don't tell you the full story because Portland stopped, quote, thinking about the rim midway through the third quarter. That's defensive gravity, and it matters just as much as scoring does. But here's where the lesson lives. It's in what went wrong. What did we not read correctly? We paired a blowout win with the over, and that's always kind of dangerous. But when you predict dominance correctly, you have to account for the blowout tax. SGA didn't miss his points prop because he struggled. He missed it because he was too efficient to justify fourth quarter minutes. And that's the cruel irony of being right. Portland's offense, well, we expected just enough resistance to keep the total alive. Instead, they collapsed completely under pressure. Once Oklahoma City took away their first option, there really was no second answer. So the final grade, if I'm going to grade myself on this, it's going to be a B plus because we won the game. We covered the spread. We had the game script correct. All of that was good. The totals, they got burned a little bit just by Oklahoma City's dominance. So that's context that does matter because now we head into a completely different environment with Golden State tonight. This is going to be a different type of test. It's not about margin, it's about identity maintenance. Oklahoma City walks into Chase Center as the league's most efficient machine, facing a Warriors team that still understands how to weaponize chaos on their home floor. This isn't Portland. This is a measuring stick game for Oklahoma City and for Golden State. The market's going to tell you that immediately when you look at the spread. He's got a modest 5.5 point spread in favor of Oklahoma City. That's on the road. That's not disrespectful. It's acknowledgement that Golden State, even in a transition year, what they're in right now, it still demands caution in their building. The total here is 231.5. That tells you the odds makers expect offense, but not a track meet. And that's where this matchup, I believe, gets kind of fascinating. You look at SGA versus Steph Curry. That's not a duel. I think it's more of a debate. Yep. Shea versus Steph is the headline, and I think it always will be. But this isn't about who scores more points. Shea doesn't chase explosions. He engineers outcomes. He pressures defenders vertically, forces rotations, and lives at the free throw line when games tighten. In their last meeting, he put up 38 points because Golden State never found a clean answer to, for isolation angles here. Now, Steph, on the other hand, I mean, he's still the league's most volatile weapon. He doesn't need rhythm. He creates it himself. 2 minutes of Steph Curry shot making can erase a quarter of good defense. So the difference is this. SGA controls possessions. Steph disrupts them. And that's going to matter late in this game. And I think that the quiet key here, what you're looking at, is front court health. This game swings on bodies you won't see in the highlight montages. Like, for example, Isaiah Hartenstein, Jalen Williams, their game time decisions. That is massive. Hartenstein in particular is Oklahoma City's defensive rebounding spine. Without him, the Thunder are still elite, but they become more vulnerable to second chance pressure. In Golden State, they live on those pressure points. Jonathan Kuminga attacking closeouts, Draymond Green orchestrating short roll chaos, extra possessions that keep Steph moving without the ball. If Oklahoma City is thin inside, Golden State's margin for error, well, it grows. On the Warriors side, missing Seth Curry tightens the rotation, but it also clarifies roles. Brandon Podziemski has been outstanding recently, and his ability to punish over rotations, it matters against a Thunder defense that collapses hard on drives. I don't think this is going to be a shooting contest. And here's the mistake that people make when they kind of break down Golden State. They assume pace, but Oklahoma City doesn't race teams. They suffocate them. The Thunder lead the league in points allowed. Golden State ranks 6th. This isn't 2016. This is a possession by possession grind where turnovers are going to decide pretty much everything. And that's the pressure point. Golden State still turns the ball over at uncomfortable rates when forced to make decisions late in the clock. Oklahoma City leads the NBA in turning those moments into offense. If the Warriors hit, let's say, 15 plus turnovers, covering becomes a problem for them, even playing at home. And when you look at this spread, to me, it's a little bit tricky. And I think discipline matters here. Oklahoma City has dominated this matchup so far this season. They won by 24. They won by 12. On paper, the Thunder at -5.5, it feels kind of short, but we always talk about context. This is Golden State's 4th straight homestand game, and they have momentum. This is a Warriors team that's fighting for positioning, not cruising through January. And Oklahoma City, they're coming off a blowout. Now they face a team that's not going to fold when they get punched in the mouth. That's why this game to me lives in trap territory. I still like Oklahoma City to win. Their structure, it travels. Their defense, it doesn't disappear. But I also respect Golden State's ability to make games uncomfortable late, especially when the building gets loud and the margins shrink. So here's my prediction, and here's why. To me, this feels like a playoff style game disguised as just a regular season matchup. I think the pace is going to be slower. I think it's going to be a physical game. I think both teams are going to be deliberate. I like Golden State getting 5.5 points at home. Not because Oklahoma City is vulnerable, but because Golden State, man, they're just stubborn at home. I like the under in this game at 231.5 because both teams, they defend at a level that turns scoring into labor. I mean, nothing comes easy. So give me a final score here. Oklahoma City 116, Golden State 112. You're looking for a kind of unsung hero in this game. I like Isaiah Joe here. I'm looking maybe 9 to 12 points to let's say three plus made 3-point attempts. Now, and the reason why is because the Warriors are going to over-rotate on SGA. They always do. And Joe's been kind of living off that gravity for a few weeks now. And the bigger picture here is this. Wednesday night, New Year's Eve, it showed us that Oklahoma City's dominance, it's real, but dominance comes with trade-offs. Tonight in San Francisco, it's going to show us whether that dominance holds when comfort disappears. This is about composure and control, about knowing where leverage lives when nothing comes easy. So win or lose, I think tonight's going to tell us more about the Thunder's ceiling than any 30-point blowout ever could. And I think that's why this game is going to matter.